How Russia got $12 trillion due to this war? It's been more than 6 months since the Russian and Ukraine war started. There is not any sign of stopping soon. What are the events that could have led to this war? Welcome to Political Interest. This is Russia and Ukraine War Saga. We have to go back in time to an era of a Cold War between the USSR and America, the event which led to this invasion today. Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, USSR deployed its nuclear missiles in Cuba against America. Florida was only 780 kilometers away from it. This led to accepting the conditions of the USSR. The same can happen to Russia now. Already, USA has nuclear weapons in Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, Italy and Turkey. The expansion of the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, has 30 member countries. NATO has Article 5, which is the principle that an attack on one member of NATO is an attack on all members. The treaty, which was named itself North Atlantic Treaty, how it can expand towards East. Latvia and Lithuania are already part of NATO. Countering this, Russia has CSTO, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, which has only 6 member countries: Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. Was this war avoidable? The images coming from Ukraine were disturbing, a beautiful country which is totally changed. Can Zelensky avoid the war? The answer might be yes. Russian military building up since last year before the invasion. Kiev hasn't learnt from the 2014 Crimea annexation. Ukraine hasn't joined NATO nor the European Union. Zelensky has made Ukraine rolling stone gathers no moss. Referring to this, we can see Zelensky have very poor political knowledge. At the end, he is a puppet, comedian actor, as you might see in Vogue magazine. During the war, he forgot that it is not real, it is the reality. We might see Ukraine as another sacrifice between America and Russia. How have Russia got $12 trillion due to this war? Russia now controls Ukraine's key natural resources, worth $12 trillion, which includes 63% of the country's coal deposits, 11% of its oil deposits, 20% of its natural gas deposits, 42% of its metals and 33% of its rare earths, including important minerals such as lithium. Putting things into perspective, it is the total combined GDP of France, UK, Canada, Italy and Germany. Do you know who is the hidden beneficiary in this war? If there is war, there is America. Private companies in America like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamic are gaining a huge increase in demand for defense equipment around the world. New markets have emerged overnight. Unsaid rule of American defense industry is war must go on. Impact over Russia. Over 1,000 companies have publicly announced that they are voluntarily curtailing operations in Russia to some degree beyond the bare minimum legally required by international sanctions. Russia has defaulted on its foreign debts, a first since 1918, but Russia has a massive $484 billion foreign reserve. These are unusable due to sanctions. Russia's ruble was on a roller coaster because of international sanctions, but the ruble hit its strongest level in 7 years despite massive sanctions. Russia is the second largest producer of natural gas and the third largest producer of oil. The European Union has particularly depended on Russian energy. It is now preparing to phase in an oil embargo. Now it seems Europe is funding the war, but the reality is Russia is an autarky, which means economically self-sufficiency and independence. They are not dependent on anyone. That's the reason sanctions are not working. The US might be able to remove Russia from SWIFT and might cancel their Netflix accounts. Impact over Ukraine. The World Bank, in a report released in April, predicted that Ukraine's economy could shrink by as much as 45% due to the war. Russian missile strikes have targeted and destroyed tons of Ukrainian infrastructure, including railways, apartment buildings, and hospitals. Both the US and Ukraine's European allies have offered billions of dollars in aid to the country since the war began. The war in Ukraine has added to the disruptions caused by climate change, the coronavirus pandemic, and inequality to produce an unprecedented global hunger crisis, says UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres.